here with Pastel Bat. I'm gonna go ahead and turn on some music for us today, and I'm super excited. This is like a really exciting stream for me. But we're going to go ahead and let the ads pass. I know we have about 30 seconds left of ads to for the start of stream. But we're gonna go ahead and let the ads pass while I yap for a little bit about how absolutely excited I am for today's stream. I want to start by thanking Pastel. I do have a command for them so that you can check them out today. And thank you, Crispy, for shouting out Pastel as well. But I have a personal command, so if you want to just use that, you can just use exclamation point Pastel, and that will be our shout outs for Pastel. Pastel is a member of the DC3, which y'all know is my stream team, and I'm just so happy to have you here. Pastel, if you want to talk about yourself and then I'll follow up with what I have to say about you, I would really appreciate it. And this is going to be a sound check as well, just to make sure that Pastel is not too loud because we didn't really get to do too much of a sound check. So, Pastel, if you'd like to talk about yourself today.
Hi everyone. I'm Pastel. They them. I am a black non-binary. Um, really bad at shooter games, but love shooter games. Content creator. Who has a podcast about non-binaries in the gaming world. As I used to work in the gaming industry, however, redundancies happen, and well, that's how that goes. So I am just, here, living, thriving, and hopefully excited to do this panel with people, with Gigi, and just, have fun.
Well, thank you so much, Pastel. We actually have one more person who might be joining us if we can get them in, which is Caber. Caber just typed in chat Pastel, so we might have like a little bit of a scuffed moment in stream. So I apologize. Also, our music's going to stop, so I'm going to switch our music over to YouTube really quickly. Give me 1 second. That way we can make sure that we have some music playing during the stream.
I got the
So,
timings wrong. I just need to tell everyone this. I keep getting the timings mixed up. I told Cable the wrong time. I'm so bad. Well, I'm not bad. I'm just forgetful. So, thankfully, Cable was. I was like messaging Cable, being like, "Cable, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry."
let me give me 1 second. Let me cuz y'all know how Discord is. It like pauses our music. Let me get some music playing really quickly, okay? Let's see. Um we can play. Sorry, y'all. I know it's like a little bit quiet right now. Maybe this one. I don't want it to be too loud. Yeah, let me know how this sounds. And if it sounds okay. And let me see if I can get Caber up onto the stage.
Hello.
Hey, Caber!
Hi, hello.
It's so nice to
I
have you. Okay, if you'd like, you can share your camera and we'll get you in. I'll get you set up. If you don't want to share your camera and you just want to chat, that's totally fine as well.
I have, if it's okay, I have a virtual camera that
That's
I can
totally
do.
fine.
I will get that going.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, whenever you're ready, um, then I'll try and set this up as best as I can. Alright, y'all, this is gonna be very scuffed. I'm warning y'all right now because I gotta set up this overlay. So this is gonna be super scuffed, but you know what? It is what it is.
This stream is without the scuff.
Exactly. So give me 1 second. I'm just going to fix this so that we can have everyone on the screen and you can see everyone. Because I want y'all to see Kaber. So whenever you're ready, Kaber, you can just start your virtual camera and then I'll be able to get you onto the overlay.
thank you for the overlay. Look how beautiful it is.
Okay, let me fix this.
Okay, this should work.
Yes, I see you. So let me.
There we go.
Let's see if we can get this. Like I said, this is going to be very scuffed, okay? And then, Kaber, when you're ready, if you can also join that link with the captions, that way everyone can see those as well. I don't know if you can see that.
Oh, is it the pixel chat? Is it the first or second one?
The second one.
It says the invite link is invalid. I will try the first one.
This first one maybe won't work. I'll send you another one.
Thank you.
It's me, I broke them both. I blame the heat. That's how I'm managing everything. I'm like, blame the heat.
Yeah, that's a great way. It's hard to do anything when the sun is absolutely trying to melt you.
I had my fan on. Absolutely.
Did you have to turn it off for the panel?
Yes, it's really loud.
No.
It's okay. Do you want everyone to hear everyone's voices?
Hey, Seth. Alright, let me move Pastel down here. And then now I just need to set up another one for Kaber. So let's see if we can do that.
Honestly, they are so quick with it.
Absolute tech wizard, making it happen.
Welcome in. Thank you for the follow. Okay.
Don't say graphic design is my passion. It's beautiful.
I guess
It's not like they're slapping us on one of those gold stars. imagine like 180p, really crunchy videos of us that are just like slapped into stars with Comic Sans as our font.
That's what I used to do for a living. Okay, and then I got made redundant. Why are you going to bring that up?
Sorry,
No,
give you terrible flashbacks.
Oh, did I? No one will know.
No one will ever know.
We don't talk about it anymore.
This is the 4 times.
Y'all getting the behind the scenes. Y'all getting the behind the scenes. Perfect.
Love it.
Hello. I'm here now.
See, it's like it was all set up from the very beginning. Now let me just make sure that that Caber is in my title really quickly. That way everyone knows where to find them as well. And luckily I already had the command set up. So now I get to gush about both of the members of my stream team. But first I want to make sure that everyone can hear Caber and Pastel equally. So is everything okay? Does everyone sound okay? Chat, I just want to make sure y'all can hear them just fine. Cause I know I didn't get to do a sound check for Caber. Okay, awesome.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
y'all were able to see the shout outs that I did. Both Caber and Pastel are 2 wonderful members of the Disabled Content Creators Collective, which is the stream team that I run. And we're all non-binary up in here. Y'all see them they thems right next to our names. So we're all 3 of us are non-binary content creators on the DC3. And so I'll just do the commands again. So like the command says, Pastel Bat 90 is a non-binary Black content creator who aims to create an inclusive community for all, no matter their background or skill level in games. They host an anti-racism, anti-ableism, and LGBTQIA2S forward space. You can find Pastel playing Dead by Daylight, Animal Crossing, Pokemon, and more. And you can find them at twitch.tv/pastelbat90. And then we have Caber Hook. Caber Hook is a variety streamer and artist. They prefer RPGs or story-heavy games with some horror thrown in. Right now, Caber streams twice a week and has cultivated a space that is friendly and open to interact with, but their space is also very lurker-friendly. Caber welcomes neurodivergent, queer, and disabled people and aims to keep their space safe for BIPOC viewers. Caber streams are 18+, and you can find them at twitch.tv/caberhook. So please be sure to check out both of our wonderful guests, and we're going to get into the panel today. But before we do so, let me also make sure I send Caber the Pixel Chat link before I forget. That way you can
Thank you.
see their captions. There you go, Caber. And I think this panel is like about 2 hours, so maybe like an hour and a half left. And we'll be on the front page for I think the first hour, so we have about 30 minutes left or so, I think, on the front page. Unless Twitch decides to bless us and leave us on for the entirety of the panel, which I'm not complaining about, but
That's great.
We can hope. We just have to have really good conversations, and they're not going to want to let us go.
exactly. And if you don't know me, my name is Chi Chi, and I'm a cozy gamer and artist. I play a variety of games, and I do a lot of social justice advocacy. I'm also a part-time therapist for LGBTQ plus and disabled folks. And so that's a little bit about me as well. So Pastel is actually our host today. I'm more of a timekeeper and a participant in the panel today. So I'll let Pastel Bat take over now.
Thank you so much for getting us all ready and set up and letting us host on your channel. Chi Chi, it is absolutely fantastic. And we've got like some questions that we're gonna ask you both. So the first thing I want to ask is, what do you look for when you're looking for accessibility in gaming? So I'm gonna go to Kaba first.
Yeah, sure. So I think the biggest thing is just customizability, right? A lot of games have features that let you change it up for yourself. So being able to map your own buttons or map your own keys, that can help people be able to program their own like specialized mic, or if they want to play the game entirely one-handed, or even just being able to scale the window freely. I feel like for some people could be an accessibility feature. Or a lot of games now are letting you either turn off triggers entirely, or they'll do like a trigger mode where it'll either warn you before it happens, or like in a goofy way. There's been a lot of like arachnophobia things where they just kind of take the legs off and make it like a giant marshmallow.
Yeah, so I know like with arachnophobia mode, a lot of people do get really scared. So like make it into like a giant cuddly ball sort of thing, where even though it does look to people who aren't as scared, and like people who think, oh my god, what is this? They're like, it does make them, like my friend has really bad arachnophobia. She's able to play so many games, and I feel like it's a little bit better for her. Chi Chi, what do you think about what do you look for when you're thinking about accessibility in gaming?
I think there are a couple of things that I look for. As silly as it sounds, the ability to turn off the background music in a game is like a huge accessibility setting for me, because sometimes the music in a game can get so overstimulating for me. There are some games that have like, even though I listen to music box music all the time on my own time, sometimes there will be days that that type of music is really overstimulating for me, and so that's an accessibility setting for me. Sorry, my cat is on my lap. Field of vision settings. I have really bad motion sickness, so like if you cannot alter any type of like field of vision settings so that there's like less blurriness or more blurriness, or just like how I guess like round the field of vision is, that will completely stop me from playing your game, because I will absolutely get so motion sick that I cannot play that game. I don't know if you can see like this ukulele right here. I was a play tester for Tchia. It's spelled Tchia, which was like a really adorable game, completely unplayable. They ended up adding like field of vision adjustments to it, but I was a play tester for them and they ended up adding that. But what made the game so great to me was that they were open to adding that type of stuff even as an indie game. They ended up adding that because you could, at first I could not play that game because of that type of thing. And I think the final thing is like I hate games that have like vomiting. Oh my goodness. Any game that has vomiting, I'm not playing it. That's why I stopped playing Dead by Daylight. because of the plague.
Yeah, if I could turn off certain killers so I don't have to face them, it would make my Dead by Daylight playing so much more better, because it's the same. Like, I can't play against the doctor because I get like sensitive epilepsy. So every time I get shocked, I have to lie down after, because for the exact same reason. And I feel like when it's really good, like you were saying with Tachia, when they were like, okay, unplayable, we're gonna work on it, because so many games don't do that. And I don't know if you heard about this, but when Deathloop first came out, it was the exact same. That was completely and utterly unplayable, and I got so many complaints. They like pretty much rewrote it, and like, it's rare for a company to do that, like utterly rare. But for that, I'm so sorry, my neighbour's playing really loud music outside.
Oh, I can't
we
even
can't
hear
hear
it.
Oh, that's good. For a company to do that, it's like, it's fantastic, but they shouldn't have to do that, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like it should just be a given. But going on to the second question, which sort of links in, is if you could rewrite any game, just like Deathloop did, to make it more accessible, which game would it be and how?
I do want to pause real quick,
Yeah.
just to make sure, because Caber, your captions, it's marking you as loading. So I'm just going to send you the link one more time, just so that we can make sure.
Should I do it in Chrome instead of Firefox?
Yes, try and do it in Chrome.
Okay.
So I'm gonna send you the link one more time. I just want to make sure that, because this is going on YouTube, I just want to make sure that people are able to see your captions and be able to see what you're saying and everything like that. Our deaf and hard of hearing pals can see what you're saying and everything like that. Even though Pixel Chat's captions are not the best, but something is better than nothing.
But...
Okay, it captured you this time. It got you this time. Awesome. Okay.
There we go.
If you say something,
that works.
Yep, we got you.
Hey, okay, perfect.
Okay, I'll say the question again, just because I know how I get easily distracted and I would forget. Okay, so if you could rewrite any game to make it more accessible, which game would it be and how? Chi, if you want to go first.
I guess on the note of Dead by Daylight, I think I would rewrite Dead by Daylight from like top to bottom. And I think we could dedicate like a whole panel to accessibility and Dead by Daylight. I'm not even gonna lie. I would make it so that, kind of like what you said before, Pastel, I would make it so that you could like opt yourself out of certain killers. And I know some people are going to say, oh, well, then people are just going to abuse it so that they could not go against certain killers. I don't care. That's irrelevant to me. If people don't want to go against certain killers because they just don't like those killers, to me, that's accessibility. If you just don't like the killer, then, and you don't like them for mental health reasons, is that not still accessibility? So not going against certain killers, just being able to like opt out of them, you know, removing all flashing lights, changing the being able to adjust the length of the screams that the survivors do, being able to adjust the loudness of the screams that the survivors do, you know, I don't know, turning the plague's vomit into rainbows or something, like just very like rewriting the whole game from top to bottom. Like I said, I could go on and on about what I would do, but just starting there, those are the changes that I would make to Dead by Daylight. And I don't even play Dead by Daylight, but I watch a lot of my friends. There are so many of you on the stream team that play Dead by Daylight, and that's where I would do that game. Absolutely.
I'm with you on so many, and you're right. There could be a panel on Dead by Daylight because they do some things to make it accessible, but there's so much more they could do. Like, so much more. And I feel like it just gets hidden between people complaining about other things.
Mm-hmm.
But I won't go down the road because I could go on for ages. Kaber, what about you? What do you think? What game would you rewrite?
I mean, I think I have a couple of games that I've played recently, but I do just want to touch on, like, I also agree that Dead by Daylight should have a lot of the same, of, like, the features. It's such a great game, and it's so, like, a little, like, heartbreaking because people will talk about how they love the game so much, and it's just one killer or one feature, and that's the only, and, like, there's such a wealth to the game that they just can't access it all because it's like, well, what if they get the doctor? And that's really unfortunate, but I also have like I'm not epileptic, but I do have, there's some degree of like light sensitivity where it's very disorienting and uncomfortable when games use flashing effects. So even something really subtle like in the Phoenix Wright games where like when you discover something new, the game will flash white really quickly. And even that is so like invasive and abrasive to me. I think the newer games, they let you toggle it off. Or I just played Alien Isolation very recently, and the whole game just uses flashing lights, whether it's like to look scary and have like the tech, like the computer screens will like flash and flicker randomly, or it uses a lot of flashing lights, and it'd be nice, but I do wish that there like was an option of just like turning that off, because that's not the whole game. It doesn't need to have that to play it.
Yeah, like you can. It's so weird. Like I feel like they could just remove that section of like even put a warning, be like, hey, like they put the warning right at the beginning, don't they? Of all these games, saying, hey, these games it has a lot of flashing and contain and like may cause epilepsy, but they don't really say where or when or
Yeah, they're not specific. It's like going
how
like
much.
trigger warning and then nothing
Yeah.
after it.
Compared to Date Everyone, where it will literally, you've got the content warning, and like they come in and will literally say, hey, this might be a sensitive topic. Are you really ready to go into it? And like, you know what? No, I don't want to do this. That is perfect for a trigger warning sort of thing. Compared to, we're just going to put it at the beginning, deal with it as you must, if that makes sense.
Also, Date Everything is specific, because they're
Yeah.
not just like, hey, trigger warning, something's gonna suck, deal with it. They're like, hey, this deals with this specific topic in very like lighthearted ways. Is that chill with you?
Yeah. And I feel like that is a game where companies could learn from. Will they? Who knows?
Mm.
Okay, so one thing that I love looking for when buying games is I like to look at tags on Steam and Xbox, and I noticed that a lot of companies don't always put how accessible their game really is, if that makes sense. So they'll put on some games like can use a controller, or like my favorite ones on Steam are you could half use a controller. And like, what do you mean you can half use a controller? Like I can cut up my controller. So like what do you both think? How how relevant do you think tags are on Steam and console to how you either buy a game, purchase, like look through games, and do you think like the publishers, developers are using them to the right advantage? And either one of you can go first.
I don't think that. I think that some of these companies just be putting them on there to put them on there. Like, I think that sometimes, like, I was like really into Fantasy Life recently, and I played with a controller. It was like, oh, this game is recommended to play with a controller, and there would be times where I would be playing with my controller, and then it would be like, oh, but you have to do this specific part with the keyboard. And I'm like, like, so like you would have to type certain things. And it's like,
God.
I understand like why you have to type certain things, but at the same time, could you not make it accessible for you to like, yes, it's less convenient, but could you not make it accessible for people to like mouse or like, you know, go over with the D-pad to like the letters and numbers and things like that, as opposed to like typing the certain things in? Because if people are using a controller, 9 times out of 10 it's going to be for accessibility reasons. And if you yourself are telling me that this game is better with a controller, then why are you then telling me that there are certain things that I have to do with the keys, with my keyboard? What if I didn't have a keyboard? What if I unplugged my keyboard because you told me that this game was meant to be played with a controller? What if I made my keyboard inaccessible to me? And I feel like a lot of game companies don't really think about like the fact that some people who play on computer are not going to have access to a keyboard. There was a point in time where I broke my keyboard when I was like very young. I did a bunch of silly stuff. I was pressing really hard on my keys, and some of my keys were just really messed up. So you're telling me I can't use my on-screen keyboard? You're telling me that, you know, like, how does that type of stuff work when someone cannot use a keyboard? And so I think sometimes companies like don't really think about the accessibility side of things, and they just be putting stuff to put stuff on there or to make their game more appealing to people who want to use controller.
Feel that. Yeah, because like what game was it? I like Path of Exile. Path of Exile is sort of like a dungeon crawler. Probably is called a dungeon crawler. I just like it because it just feels really nice in my brain. But they say you can use a controller. It is really hard for me to get used to on a controller, so I couldn't use a keyboard for it. So I was like, well, I can't play this game. Like, I can't play this game because you say it's supposed to be for a controller, but it's inaccessible to me. And I don't think they're just like, well, you know, we plugged a controller in and you could move your character around, so therefore you can play it. I'm like, well, you can't do the whole entire campaign on it, can you? So it's not actually accessible. Kaba, what about you? What do you think about the tags on Steam and console?
I mean, they're not. So they're not doing well enough because I didn't know that they existed. And I think that they could definitely be used better, because if they were as overt as like tags on a stream, then like I think people would know not only what they're getting into, I guess there's some tags, I guess. Like I'll glance at a thing to see if it's like multiplayer or if it is, but like they're kind of, I guess now that I'm thinking about it, they're a little hidden away. And some people I think will specifically, like, if there was a tag for being able to play it one-handed, I think people would explicitly look for that, and then they would have a better time finding a wealth of games, or if there was a can turn flashing lights off, or has no flashing lights, or, you know, has fully customizable audio, or, you know, dyslexic friendly. Like, I feel like people would literally just type that into the search bar, and that's a whole new avenue of discoverability for games, that so that people don't have to sift through games that they can't play, or like, especially with Steam, I think it's like 2 hours I don't know how long it is, but you can only play games for a certain amount of time before you can't return it anymore. And if the accessibility hurdle is past that point, you've bought a game, it's been great, and you're so excited, and then you hit a point where you can't play anymore, and then you're out that money.
And it's awful being out that money, and I'm sure Steam's reduced it as well because people were returning it so much.
Mhm.
There was something I was going to say, and then it went out of my head because I started thinking about returning
no.
money. It's fine. It'll come back eventually. Okay, as we're all advocates, pretty much. I'm saying pretty much, we are advocates. How do you share information about accessible games within your communities? Oh, hold on. Before I answer that, I know what it was. I knew what I was going to say. Before, not even I answer that, you two answer that. Okay, so about the tags, there is websites that can tell you if you can, like, how accessible games are. But it's the fact that if you're not, I want to say, in the know, you won't know about those websites because they are within the disabled communities, which means that you have just then they're hidden, but they're well known within the disabled communities, if that makes sense. And it's they're really well thought out, they're really amazing, but it doesn't help other people because you can become disabled at any point in your life. How are people in the mass of the world supposed to find out about this? Because I only know the website in English. How are people in other languages whose English is not as a first language supposed to access this? That's already an accessibility issue. Steam translates everything automatically, and so do console. But if you're not having if you're not showing the tags properly or doing anything, then it's already creating an extra barrier for people. Moving on to that, that's where my brain was going. In your communities, how do you share information about accessible games that you have found that you're like, you know what, this is a really great game and really accessible. I think other people would really like them. And whoever would like to answer that can go.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I would like to hear y'all's answers because this is a very hard thing for me to do. So I'm going to take a back seat on this question.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of, I think it's good that there is a disability community, like you said previously, but I think a lot of information is purely shared through word of mouth and through, if you're part of a group like the DC3, where there are helpful channels where people can share resources and be like, I found this thing, this is really cool, and having these like little points where people can gather, and so, but a lot of people might not have a disabled community, or they're limited by the size of it and whether or not something comes across their way. So like, I find that it's usually about, you know, if a friend has a similar, either knows about any disabilities that I have, or we have similar conditions. And they'll be like, this really worked for me. This game was great. You should try it because of its accessibility features. Or, they'll pass along an article that's like top 10 most accessible games. Or I've honestly found like watching, it's weird, but like watching streamers, and like there was a streamer that I watched who was playing like Ratchet and Clank, like the newer one, and I was like blown away at the accessibility features. Like just I think it was Ratchet and Clank, and like just the degree of like they could make all the enemies like really just like blobs of color with really strong outlines, and they could make the main character different and the platforms different, and just like the degree of customization that they had. And I would have never known that if I wasn't seeing it in action.
I agree. I think watching streamers are really powerful. I would say I tend to share information. I was really blessed by being able to work in the games industry, which meant I was able to make some great connections, amazing connections with folks. And being able to use those connections to be like, hey, there's this game coming out, tell me about the accessibility features, blah, blah, blah. And then being able to like, I may not have a mass following on socials, I don't care about those, but saying to just put it out on socials and like being able to see it and like ask those questions, using like I'm really blessed to be a Ubisoft partner, and when Assassin's Creed Shadow came out, before it came out, they were like, you can ask us any questions. Not saying that all of them will be answered, but ask us any questions, and they just put it in a Google form. I listed about 20 accessibility questions, and some of them got answered, which was really great. But being able to like do that and then being able to push that out is something that I feel like I'm able to do due to my connections. That sounds like I'm bragging. I feel like I'm not.
You should.
No, I mean,
What
that's
the? You
It is a
should
cool
brag
thing you
about that.
got. You deserve to be proud about it.
But it's like being able to use those connections that I know it's really hard to get, like being disabled, black, and queer, like especially these days. Like, yeah, even now, made redundant, not in the. I've kept those connections, and I'm being able to like hit people up and be like, hey, do you mind if you share this on your socials? And most of the time people do, which is really great. And then once that happens, like that pushes on, which means that more information about accessibility comes through, and then I'm able to hopefully like if there's like I'm trying to think of something. If like something absolutely fantastic comes out, or like someone needs something accessible and like an accessibility thing, and I know that connection, I'm like, let me try and use it to help other people, because I may personally not need it, but just because I don't doesn't mean 1,000 others may not. And I think that's all it is, like being able to push it on, because someone is always listening is what I found, and which is why I wanted to do this panel, because like people are always wanting to listen, and I found a lot of people don't know what makes a game accessible, especially a good game. Like all they just think is, oh, you can use a controller, oh, we can like you can like do some, like we can change 2 or 3 settings, you're done. And we're like, no, it's way much more than that, and everyone's need is so different, and you need to lower that barrier. And I can go on about this forever, so I'm gonna stop. Okay, now something that is really close to my heart, because I love FPS games. Okay, do you think there's a correlation, probably didn't say that right, between FPS games versus cozy games being more accessible? Because I find more cozy games tend to become more accessible compared to FPS games.
I have a lot to say, but I'll let y'all go first, and then I'll, just in case there's overlapping thoughts, and then I'll say what I have to say.
Okay. I would say, like, I think cozy games get a reputation for being accessible because they're usually slower paced. So it's like people can take it at their own pace. It doesn't require a lot of like really high degrees of mobility. But also, I mean, accessibility isn't a one size fits all. It depends on what your condition is, what your disability is, what kind of accessibility you need. And I think that a slower paced game doesn't necessarily mean it's accessible. There's actually been a several amount of like, I guess it depends on what you classify as a cozy game, but like there's been puzzle games that I've seen people play that have not, they've endeavored to be accessible, but they weren't. Whereas like a lot of popular FPS games have features you wouldn't really think counts as accessible, but they are. Like for example, when you get shot in an FPS, it's pretty standard that they'll do some kind of like a red bar or like red blood on the side of the screen where you're getting shot, so you get a visual cue for anyone who might be hard of hearing or just disoriented. It's like a high contrast visual cue of where the danger is, so you turn towards that as opposed to just oof, ouch, I'm losing hit points. Or you know, they'll use high contrast details for points of interest. So like people dog on it, but either like the white handprints or the yellow like caution tape to let you know where you need to go for anyone, or just the fact that like a lot of FPS games, at least like the popular ones like CODs, where they have like a repetitive gameplay loop where it might be for anyone who needs accessibility, it might take them a little bit to get it, but because it's the exact same every single time, they can kind of map out how to make it work for themselves, and then it's not going to change. And it's not going to like switch up on them. They figure out how to play it for their situation, and it's the same every single time. And they just move and shoot.
Yeah, that's exactly how I do it. That's how I do my FPS. I can't listen to like, you know how the like TikToks or videos that tell you how to do it. I'm like, no, I need to learn myself because I need to adjust all my settings. But and as well, I find, so I know Chi plays a lot of Stardew. I cannot play Stardew. I find it really overbearing. No, it's information overload on my head, and I can't. I love it. I think it's cute. I love watching people play it. I tried to play it thinking I would enjoy it. My brain just can't do the two. So that's why I'm like, is it cozy game always better, more accessible? Because sometimes I just can't access it. So to me, it's not accessible, you know?
I think a lot of cozy games are like very text heavy. Like a lot of them are like visual novels or Stardew Valley. And if your specific disability is that you can't read or struggle to read, those kind of games aren't even remotely accessible for you.
Yeah, like I love some visual novel games, but I can't sit for more than half hour before I have to go because I've
Zoom.
I've dissociated and I can't keep up with everything. Chi, what's your thoughts on it?
I think that a lot of cozy games involve like a lot of cognitive load, whereas first-person shooters often tend to involve like a lot of physical load. And I think I think some cozy games can also involve physical load as well. But there's like cognitive load versus physical load. And I think that's what makes them like different accessibility wise. Like you can have, if you struggle like cognitively, I think a lot of those cozy games can be a lot more difficult for you. You mentioned like, y'all already mentioned like the reading, mentioning like the attention span, talking about like, you know, even like fishing in Stardew Valley be kicking people's butt. You know, it's very fun for me. Or fishing in like Palia, things like that. Like it can kick your butt. It can be very like difficult to engage with, and those things make those games like very inaccessible. And then you compare that to like the physical load of like shooters. Like I cannot play shooters for very long because my wrists, my fingers get very tired, and I just get very like sometimes even overstimulated, like visually. Like my eyes will get tired when I play those types of games for a very long time. So those are like the differences I think in the like load that those games can have. And I think that defining accessibility on the front of like just labeling a game, is it accessible, and leaving it at that, I think is just maybe too vague. Saying, is a game accessible on this front, and then defining that front, I think is a better way to go about defining accessibility.
That is what everyone should realize. But yeah, I think it is important to notice that like there's so many ways of accessibility, and I think that is what isn't picked up by mainstream media when it comes to games a lot. If you ever notice, I always see whenever you look at mainstream media for accessibility, they always think of like, is it accessible? And it's like, I literally just mentioned it. They were like, did they add like 1 or 2 settings? But really, it's so vast and so wide. So thinking about mainstream media and the impact of funding that they've had on games, do you think it's helped us, or do you think it's like made us more aware? Because the way that I think it's happened is a lot of social media presence more has happened in becoming aware of accessibility, but I don't think it's gone into depth of what accessibility is, if that makes sense. So there may be some funding, but not enough funding, if that makes sense. What are your thoughts on mainstream media funding on accessibility?
I think that things are getting better, and I think that although like of course, you know, Free Palestine, we're boycotting a lot of what Xbox has going on, I think there's a lot of difficulty with that within like a lot of disability and accessibility groups, because Xbox has been so monumental on the accessibility front. Xbox been doing the the thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Xbox,
It's so annoying.
it's so frustrating because Xbox not only like was like one of the first of like the big companies to promote accessibility, whether that be like, you know, promoting accessibility features within games, accessibility within like adaptive controllers, that type of stuff. But they also do not gatekeep. So they encourage companies to like they share their accessibility features with the other companies such as Nintendo and Sony and things like that, and then they also provide funding to indie companies, indie developers, to increase the accessibility of their games. So when I say Xbox be doing the thing, I'm saying Xbox be doing the thing for real. And so it's very frustrating because it's like free Palestine, and I mean that, free Palestine. And then also let's snatch what Xbox has going on and apply that to other companies. But I think that Xbox has been monumental in what they do for like accessibility in gaming. I'm just wondering, like, how do we further promote that? Because it seems like even Xbox has gotten a little bit more quiet with what they've been doing. I have like it was, even though like a lot of companies are being louder, you know, Twitch, this was the first time Twitch promoted Disability Pride Month, like ever. And so companies are getting louder, companies are doing more, but they're not actually talking about what accessibility means. They're not defining accessibility. They're not explaining what accessibility means within like a gaming context. So it's like hit or miss, and I don't know like how you even begin to change that, because I think we're all also just very tired. I think we're all very tired right now.
Xbox literally did amazing. I know the lead person on Xbox used to be Tara. I forgot her last name, but I think if I'm correct, she's left. This is in the UK. I don't know about the rest of the world. I don't know UK. But Tara is now on the UK Games Council to try and make games better, which hopefully will push a bit accessibility a bit further in the UK, if that makes sense. So it will push us a bit further, because Tara is someone who will use her voice for greatness, and I'm really proud of that. But yeah, Kiva, what do you think about it?
Think like it is a really big shame that Microsoft is using its tech for something like extremely atrocious purposes, because it's that like they do have a lot of incredible accessibility features, and instead of using it for helping the disabled, they're like, what if we just killed innocent people instead? But I also think that like when it comes to like funding, like video games don't really get a lot of funding unless either like rich people can sneak something in there that they want to sell. So like I'm sure like the military, just how they fund movies and like Marvel, they also might slide a little bit of money towards video games that they think will make people want to enlist. Or if there's, you know, we can have marketable plushies, so they're gonna put money towards that. And like I know that like a lot of game models now are also like gacha games where technically they're free to play, but they kind of incentivize gambling. So it's like in order to put a feature into the game, I think a lot of companies only really care about money, and I think the only thing that really kind of shakes that up is, I don't know, like a lot of people really dogged on, for example, like Baldur's Gate, and they were really hoping for its failure. Like Baldur's Gate 3, they were really hoping for its failure because, oh, it's so woke, and they wanted it to fail, and it did so astronomically well because just like the heart and soul and the effort put into it was above and beyond, like so incredible for that genre of game. And the community just showed up and like would not stop talking about it. And like, while I don't think that every company can be Baldur's Gate 3, the degree of detail they put in that is a lot. I do think that people will go, okay, well, Baldur's Gate 3 did incredible. They put in a lot of work. They put in a lot of effort to make all these features and all of these things, and they made money. So there is some degree of profit in putting in the work.
Yeah, Baldur's Gate really did go all the way out there.
Mm-hmm.
Which, honestly, I'm so proud of. Although I can't play it, but that's another thing. I will say, PlayStation did release a adaptive controller, but it's so expensive. That's like,
another thing.
Yeah, like most disabled people are not rich. I'm gonna say most. I'm gonna say like 80% of us are not rich.
Yeah.
You know, how are we supposed to afford these controllers? How are we supposed to afford these things? How are we supposed to make a living? We're already having issues with our governments, our laws being taken away, and then we're trying to do something to, you know, improve our mental state, our health and wealth. Not wealth, but health. Well, sometimes wealth. And then we're trying to gain access to something, and you make it inaccessible for us because we don't have money for it. Like, I would love an accessible controller, but an adaptive controller even. However, I can't just go out and test one, because where are you going to test one? Like, unless you go to an event, which already major issues, getting disabled people to events, because those cost money.
And people aren't masking.
Yep. So you got events that are already inaccessible, getting there inaccessible. Then you're going to have to touch something that everyone's going to touch, because you know they're not wiping it after everyone's been touching it.
And that's if you can get through the door, because not all venues will have like accessibility ramps. Like, you have to pay for it. Can you get in the door?
Oh, and then like it's not like they have a range of them for you to test. Oh, and it's like, it's not even like you could like send it to us to trial it, see how it is, and then send it back. Do you know what I mean? It's just so inaccessible. So then you're just stuck with the bog standard controller that you can get, or like a cheaper version, because sometimes even those are really expensive. Like, how am I gonna afford, not just me, when I say I mean anyone, gonna afford a controller that's £80? Like, who can afford a controller for £80 these days, or $80? Like, just sitting around at home, like, you know. And they break so often. Like, what are we supposed to do as disabled folks? That was just my rant on controllers.
No, that's so real. That's so real.
It's a good rant. And like, a lot of things don't have payment plans, because a lot of disabled people are on they're on their country's like welfare or disability. They're on a fixed income, and I don't know any like, hey, you want to buy this $80 controller? You can do it. It's usually like pay up front, and most disabled people don't have that kind of money up front.
And then they're like, oh, well, if you can't do it, you're stuck. And you're like, great, thanks. I'll just cry about it and use these that will give me pain. And then, like, there has been like some some develop and some growth in it, and we're like, yeah, thank you, that's great, that's amazing, but we can't get access to them. So really, how great is it? Like, I wish, like, you see all these, and I love them. I see all these amazing creators get them, and I love them. I love that for them. I just wish they would send them out to more creators for free. Do you know what I mean? Because I feel like more people need them. Like, we can't afford them. Send them out to more people. It's Disability Pride Month. Send them out. Send them out.
Yes. I thought that there was going to be way more, like, again, I know that their times are hard, especially like the political climates. You know, we're because I think, Kaver, you're in the US as well, right?
No, I'm in Canada.
Oh, you're in Canada. I didn't know you were Canadian. Well, y'all's government is effed as well.
Yeah,
so for especially for so all three of us, our governments are not very like pro disability, you know. So if I know that like companies are not doing as much this year for Disability Pride Month, but like they're not, it didn't seem like last year and the year before. I know Logitech did something for Disability Pride Month, Xbox did something for Disability Pride Month, and I want to say I saw one other company do something for this. Elgato did something for Disability Pride Month. I see nothing this year. I'm like, dang,
nothing.
It's like that. Like, where's the free stuff? Where's the free stuff? I want some free stuff.
I didn't even want it for me. Like, I want to see. You can have it. I want, because they never send it to me. That's why they never send it to the UK. That's why I know I'll never get it. It's always in the States or Canada.
Yeah, it's usually States only.
Yeah, I'm like, you know what? Send it to the people who, like, my disabled friends who need it, who are struggling, who don't send it to the same people who have it. And then I know, like, next month I'll see all these people with brand new stuff, and I'm like, okay, it was Disability Pride Month and you couldn't send us nothing? Like, I know you've got it lying around.
I'm finna hit them up and be like, hey, I was on the front page of Twitch. I need y'all to send me and my people something this month. Like, I need something.
You know, I'm like, look, it is Disability Pride Month. You do something for Pride, you do something for Black History Month, you do something for every other month, but you're just gonna miss us out? Anyway.
Especially with how intertwined that is with gaming.
Yeah. But
like, you'd think controller companies would be like, hey, we want to show off our cool new controller. We're gonna give it out, and yet,
like, they couldn't even like hit us. Like, I'm sorry, we're a stream team of disabled folk, and they don't even think, hey, hit us. I'm gonna stop before going around.
No, because we need that. We need that. I'm gonna clip it and I'm gonna be like, look, Pastel Bat 90 says send us some stuff right now. And if that's not enough, then no, I'm just kidding.
PR package, please.
Do you think companies should do? Shadow Gamer says, do you think companies should do more surveys to get input on the type of feature that would be helpful to those who need accessibility features? Yeah, and I know we have like I think we have time for questions. I think we reserved like a little bit of time for questions at the end, but I think this is a really good question that's like applicable for right now. If you're okay with that, Pastel.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. I think it's great if, like, I know there's like, and I think most disabled folk are okay. I'm going to say I'm used to this, but you may not be able to get every accessibility feature in every single game, and that's okay. Like, but if you try or are aware of accessibility features that you could think of, or like what could trigger people, I think that is really great, because people don't know, and it's okay to not know. That's what I say to people. It's okay not to know. It's even better to learn, and like asking people what would help them and what learn, not asking like some random person on the street like with a mic. I hate those people, like on a mic while they're trying to do the shopping, like, what would you like in a game, and they're like fish or something, because they don't know what they're talking about. But like taking the time to ask people is really, and it's really thoughtful as well, because then the people who you ask know that they, like, you at least put the thought into it, you know, you put the thought into it, and companies put, you know, like took the time to, you know, think about their audience at least.
Yeah, I think
Thank you, Essie.
surveys are really nice.
Oh, I was talking to chat. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I think that surveys are good and they're helpful, but I think like if you want, I mean, it's harder when you're like a solo dev or a small indie corporation, but like a small indie group. But I think there is no better, like, I don't know, just like tap into accessibility than just like having disabled people on your team, or having them as part of your playtesters, like, and not just being like, you know, like actively seeking out and being like, we want at least like 2 or 3 disabled playtesters, because even if the game doesn't hit their specific disability, they're at least part of the community, and then they might be like, you know, I don't have arthritis, for example, but if I was playing a game and either I'm just loosely aware of it because, you know, sometimes you have, like, some people might have body pain in their knees and they're like, I can imagine the translation of this into my hands, or they have disabled friends and so, or community, and they're like, okay, so this game is fun, but thinking about it, like, it's a lot of hand movement, it's a lot of dexterity, and someone whose hands have seized up might not be able to play that. So just like working, actually, like, surveys are great, but actually working with disabled people, like, without even thinking about it, it will just, like, that accessibility will just kind of bleed into the work you do as they contribute. And also pay disabled people.
Yes, absolutely. I agree 100% with what both Pastel and Caber said. I think that having disabled people on your team and serving disabled people is really helpful. Starting with surveys, I think, could give you a good starting point for maybe what you're like serving. Maybe if you have like social media and you have like your base interest group, surveying that interest group and then conducting outreach within your interest group to say, like, this is, I'm looking for playtesters, or I'm looking for like consultants within my interest group, within my social media group. I'm looking for like 2 to 3 consultants to join my team and be like a significant part of our development team, and we will pay you, I think is probably the best way to go about things. That way you can have disabled people directly involved, and even if you don't, kind of like what Caber was saying, even if you don't specifically hit like every disability, or you don't hit like even a lot of disabilities, you can then be almost like enmeshed in the disabled community. So if you need further consulting, you can reach out to your disabled consultants and say, hey, I want more advice about this disability. Do you happen to know someone who has this disability? And us disabled folks, we do stick together, and chances are you will be able to find someone who does have this disability, or they can conduct outreach on your behalf and find people who have that disability. And it's going to be a lot easier for you because they have that trust within that community, as opposed to you going out and being like, hey, I'm looking for people who have this niche disability. You're probably going to have a lot harder of a time than someone who's already a part of the disabled community. So now you're networking, now you have a foot in the door, and you're able to pay people, you're able to build trust with that community.
Yes, very much true, because getting that trust can be broken so quickly when people mess it up.
Absolutely.
Sorry, I'm reading the comment. You're so welcome. Okay, next question. We've got like half hour?
Yes, and we do want to
Yeah.
leave like maybe I'm going to leave like 15 minutes near the end because I want to give y'all time to talk about what plans you have, like your personal plans and what you're doing on stream. So we actually have only about 20 minutes left.
Okay, I'm gonna try and remember that.
I'll keep you on
Okay.
track, don't worry.
Thank you. Okay, so Kaba made this suggestion and I loved it. It was, what accessibility feature in games do people think may not be one? And I didn't think of this, and I was like, ooh, spicy.
Yeah, some features they're surprising, like until you see it and you go, yeah, of course this is gonna accommodate somebody, but you don't really like think of it until it's like right in front of you. I can give some examples if y'all want to ponder it for a second, but I defer if you have an idea.
Yeah,
I've got one.
I want to hear y'all's ideas.
I've got one,
Right,
if you don't mind me going first.
Yeah, go for it.
One that I like that a lot of my friends use and they don't realize is applying filters on the games to help them
Ooh.
play the game. They say to play the game at a gamer level, to which I say, does it not help your vision? And they're like, I was like, therefore, it's an accessibility filter. And they're like, no, it's not. It's a gamer level. I was like, no, it's not.
Is it helping you see?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a gamer. It is also making you a gamer, but
Yeah. So I like filters because people probably use them way more in games, like on the game vision and maps as well. I used to hate maps, but having maps on games is also, I think, an accessibility feature. And also like maps in the top corner or wherever the map is in, whichever game. And another feature that I think is possibly overlooked is when people don't realize that you can remap buttons, which is because people want to remap it, say they play mouse and keyboard thing, and you've got one of those mouse and it's got like 20 buttons on the side, and they map each of their bindings to those. And I'm like, that's an accessibility feature because it's helping you play the game better. I'm like, you're not realizing that's an accessibility feature. And they're like, no, it's not. I'm like, yes. So those are my three.
I just thought of one, like something really interesting is like a rhythm game. If any of you have heard of like Osu, where like you can play it. I think you could play it with like a controller, and you can also play it on a keyboard. But I've seen people play it with drawing tablets, which I'd never thought before about like that. Just I guess that some people so it's not a lot of wrist movement, it's not a lot of tension. You can put it all in your shoulder. But also just like the movement and the precision of using a drawing tablet pen and just like tapping all of the rhythm bubbles in Osu with that, which I wouldn't think to myself like being able to convert like it's not only like you can, if you are able to map your own buttons, I think that's that much easier to use a programmable keyboard, so you can like bring in your own keyboard into it. But also just like I can't imagine playing, like some people play games with the weirdest stuff where they're like, I'm playing with a Guitar Hero guitar, I'm playing with a bunch of chickens that I'm stepping on with my feet, and there's like this really complicated rig. Like those are really funny, but in a way it's also like how can we break down the way that this game is structured so that people can play it in potentially like unorthodox ways. And it's meant for comedy, but in a way it's like some people probably can only play with their feet, some people can only play with their tongue, some people can only play through eye movement, and or just like the posture of holding a Guitar Hero guitar is way more accessible to some people than using a mouse and keyboard. But also like very recently I was watching a buddy play that like puzzle, I think it's called Blueprints. It's like a escape room roguelike game, which is really cool. And it intended to have a lot of accessibility features, but my buddy who was playing it is colorblind, like sees basically grayscale, and a lot of that game needs you to see color, where it's like, you know, red notes are lies and green light like notes are the truth, like things like that. And it was like baked throughout the entire game, so he constantly had to ask his chat like, hey, what color is this, so that he could play the game. So having even just like high visibility, or like Among Us did a thing where they have the wire matching games, and they added little symbols next to all of the wires so that you could match them by the symbol as opposed to the color if you couldn't see it. Or people dog on Comic Sans a lot, and I know a lot of games are like, a few games have started using Open Dyslexic. But I know at least I have 3 dyslexic friends, and all of them say that Open Dyslexic sucks. They hate it, and they have an easier time reading Comic Sans. So even Comic Sans is accessible.
I think something that comes to mind for me is like Minecraft has like a lot of accessibility features, and they're listed under accessibility, but I didn't realize that they were accessibility features until Minecraft pointed them out to me. And it was like auto jump, so like walking up to something and the game jumping for you, as opposed to you having to like actually press a button. And it's like reduced my like fatigue when I'm playing games for like a long time. So I have like that turned on.
That's so good.
And like or like even like subtitles themselves, like something as simple as like subtitles is like an accessibility feature. The shadow under subtitles is like accessibility.
Yeah.
So things like that. And yeah, I got them out of here quick. Like I was not playing no games.
I saw that.
But like things like that, I think are like accessibility things that we don't think of. And then the thing that I think is like something that's an accessibility feature that we just ignore completely because it's just so commonplace is the act of the game pausing when we pause. Like the game not continuing when we actually pause it. That in itself is accessibility. Yes, I think custom fonts is an accessibility feature because there are some people that can't read certain fonts. And like I know like people think, you know, Times New Roman is like readable. Some people cannot read Times New Roman. Some people can only read like certain fonts. So being able to like change the font to what you want it to be, and it's or like having like like just maybe 3 or 4 very distinct styles of fonts. I think I think that's like that would be an accessibility feature for sure.
Or even just some games make themselves like really open or easy to modding. So even if it just wasn't hidden
Yes.
behind a big wall of just like, here is the folder where the fonts are. If you put your font folder or your font in this folder, it will be part of the drop down menu. And just making it a little more easy for people to play with it themselves. Even just that.
Yeah, it's so great. One thing I will say as Ubisoft is Ubisoft tend to let you change the font and the background, because everyone else can't see this, but I have the notes on pink paper because I'm technically not dyslexic, but I see better on pink paper, even if it's on the computer. So, but we all know standardized testing don't work, on black people, so we ignore it. But it's easier for me to read it on pink paper, so I tend to have it all on there, so it's a lot easier for me. As I think we've only got time for one more question, so I'm trying to make it a good question. Okay, so okay. Recommend a game you love with good accessibility features. And if you're in chat, feel free to also recommend a game with accessibility features. Mine would be Prince of Persia. Because of that, I get to skip all the jumping because I can't do the skills on it. It was great. Although it is still really hard, and I wish they made it a little bit easier. And they could have done. I wiped my save, so I never went back because it stressed me out.
Oh no.
Yeah, I got really far and then I wiped it and I was like, great. So I never did it. But yeah, what game do you love with good accessibility features?
I would probably choose specifically modded Stardew Valley. Modded Stardew Valley, which I know excludes like a lot of people because they can't play modded Stardew Valley on like console. But being able to get modded Stardew Valley with like the CJB cheats menu, that means that you can get rid of like the fishing mini game. You can like cut out a lot of the time. You can just like with modded Stardew Valley, you can incorporate a lot of accessibility features. And when people with PCs do talk about how inaccessible Stardew Valley is for them, like I will even take the time to recommend them like a custom set of mods, so that they can make Stardew Valley a little bit more accessible for them. Of course, it doesn't work all the time because if you just don't work well with like the cognitive load of story-based games, then Stardew Valley is just not going to work for you. But for those who do enjoy story-based games, but just can't mesh well with like the minigame component, the combat component of Stardew Valley, but really like the farming aspect and the romance aspect, then I can like build them literally like a customized list of all of these features to add so that Stardew Valley will be accessible to them.
That's so amazing. That's so lovely.
Yeah, the modding community are honestly heroes when it comes to gaming. Like, And it's all like oftentimes it's free. Like these people are just like fixing features, or they'll make patches to like optimize a game, or just like take away things that break the game. Like the modding community are definitely the heroes of gaming for sure.
I agree for sure.
What about you, Kaber? What game would you recommend?
I think honestly, I just want to sing a little bit more praises for like I've been playing, like you mentioned, Date Everything before, and its trigger warning system, and I just want to kind of sing its praises a little bit. In not only is it like, for me, I've very recently been struggling with visual novels, both like just for attention span, or like especially as a streamer having to read all of the dialogue. And I find not only is Date Everything more of like a fast-paced kind of dating game, it's fully voice acted, but also like with their trigger warning system where it's completely optional, and it's something where like it's not even hidden behind like you have to go to the menu and you have to search for it. The narrator will pop in and be like, hey, do you want warnings before potentially triggering content? It's integrated into the game. And then she shows up, like you'll meet someone, you'll get the introduction, and then she'll show up and she'll be like, hey, this person has this specific triggering content. Because it's one of my biggest pet peeves when someone's just like, trigger warning, content warning, and that's it. Like they'll just put the words TW in front of like a video or something and be like, good luck. And that's not helpful. That doesn't help anyone, because, you know, some people get triggered by Christmas music and other people get triggered by knives. So that doesn't help them know whether or not they can play your game. And then it's also like the feature where if interaction does potentially trigger you, as opposed to some games where they're like, well, sucks for you, you can't date this person, it lets you choose how you want your relationship to end up. So like, even though you're skipping their story, you still get the progression of like, okay, we're gonna be friends, we're gonna be lovers, we're gonna be like in a hate relationship. So you're not like punished for having an accessibility need, which I think is really cool.
That's really good. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Probably because of what I've seen. Ignore the trigger warning.
I just appreciate like games and devs, because I think there's a lot of like, in the gaming community, I feel like it's a lot of people just being like, well, get good. You know, it's just, you know, they don't want games to be more accessible. They're like, I want a game to be brutally hard, and you have to, it's like they use it as a status symbol when video games are leisure activities. You're supposed to be having fun, not desperately trying to be the top of the hierarchy. And people forget that a lot, and then they get, because they wear gaming as like a, I'm better than you because I can push button faster. And then they get mad when the game is no longer, I'm better than you because I can push button faster, and it's just game fun. And I like it when devs aren't just like, get good. You know, they actually are like, hey, you're gonna, like, I'm giving you money. Who cares if I'm gonna play this game to the degree of difficulty that it's at? You're getting money to make more games.
Yeah. Because at the end, we're all just playing a game. Like, it's literally a game. It's not the end of the world. Like, There's bigger things. There's literally a war going on. The game is not the end of, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But I think that is going to be the end of all my questions.
I think you did amazing.
Yeah, you
Thank
did
you.
great.
Can we get some W's in chat for our wonderful host, Pastel Bat 90? Pastel put all of this together and was the primary planner, and then Caber Hook also contributed a lot of the questions. I also want to give a special shout out to Raps Perhaps, who is not a participant on the panel today, but did also contribute some to the research for the panel, so let me give a shout out to them. Another non-binary content creator. We were just all non-binary up in here. Like, what the?
That's how I clicked. That's how I was like, we're gonna get a
Oh,
non-binary.
it didn't. I don't know why it
About
gave
it.
me a shout out. Oh, I didn't spell Rap's name right. That's why. Hold on.
We're all here saying no to gender.
Exactly. Okay, there we go. Okay, I did the shout out correct that time. So thank you so much for being our host. I would love to go through and give y'all the opportunity to talk about your channels, starting with Pastel. Talk about your channels once again, and talk about anything that you have planned for the rest of Disability Pride Month, and then anything that you have planned coming up for the rest of the year, or whatever you just want to talk about for your own channels.
Leaving after this. I've got a suitcase packed behind me. Well, thank you all for being here, first of all, and thank you to you both for being on this panel. I am slowly getting back into streaming. I took a little break because he doesn't need a break. And I am going to be probably playing Hello Kitty. Because I love Hello Kitty, and then if not that, I will probably just be crying over games because I think everything is cute and just doing that. The rest of the year, it's Black History Month in the UK. October. I always say November. I always want to say November, but it's October. So I will probably do some for Black History Month in October, and it will most likely be trying to get another panel sorted, but I'm not quite sure. So I'll most likely be doing that, and then I'm probably just going to be chilling, you know. So if you want, pull up, but you don't have to.
Yes,
No
you
false.
do. Yes, you do. You do have to. You do.
But yeah, thank you.
All right, Kaber, if you'd like to share everything that you have going on for Disability Pride Month and what your channel is about, and then what you have for the rest of the year, I'd love to hear it.
Yeah. So, hi, I'm Kaber. I mostly, my streams are usually I'm a gaming streamer. I am a digital artist as well. But the digital art streams are rare. I like video game. So it is, and if you end up coming to my streams, it's usually the autism and the ADHD fight. Because the autism loves a routine. And so I like to play games until I finish them. So I'll pick a game and it'll be like, coming up soon, Mondays are going to be Resident Evil, and we're going to play that until it's done. And then Thursdays are, it's either been Disco Elysium or it's been Date Everything. And I try to play that till it's done, until the ADHD is like, I need enrichment now, and I have to switch it up. But as far as Disability Pride Month, I'm going to be, trying to boost things as best as I can. I am also, I hope it's okay. It's not explicitly disability focused, but there is, I've been trying to make time. There is a Games for Palestine charity, kind of game jam, where all of the funds that are raised from this collective are being sent to the UN RWA for the situation in Gaza. And so they're taking donations of, assets and games and features. And so sometimes, accessibility means not having to make your own social media assets, because sometimes when you're a indie dev, you have to know how to do it all. So it's not just about making the game, it's also advertising the game and doing outreach and networking, and not everyone has the time or the ability to do all these different facets. So sometimes it's just like, here's some free assets so that you can make a cute little social media graphic, or here are some indie games for a good cause. So I'm going to be doing probably this month trying to, or at least I guess the submissions are due in 22 hours. So the next 22 hours, I'm going to be trying to make a few assets to donate to that game jam.
Well, that sounds so exciting. I'm really looking forward to everything that you two have planned. And of course, like I said, they're both Caber and Pastel are members of the DC3. So please be sure to give them both a follow. I'm so grateful and honored to have you both on the team. Thank you again to Pastel for hosting and being the host for the panel today. And we're going to end here. I know it's a little bit early, but we're going to raid into the Disability Pride Month raid train that we have going on. So I'm going to mute in the Discord. If you two could hang around so we could chat a little bit after, then that would be awesome. But I'm going to close out the stream and I'll be muted in the Discord. But thank you so much, and I'll talk to y'all both in a little bit.
See you soon.
Okay.
Thank you. Bye.
All right. That was such a good let me see if I can move them to the audience. I think I can move them into the audience. There we go. Not the Daily Pillow Sniff. That was such a good panel. Like, are you kidding me? That was so good. Thank you to Twitch for hosting us on the front page. And for allowing us to have our wonderful panel hosted on the front page. Thank you to everyone who stuck around for this event. And we're going to, like I said, we're going to raid into the Disability Pride Month raid train, okay? So let me go see who's live right now. I think we're still on part 1. Oh, it's Kayla. Kayla's live. I think Kayla is getting ready to end, though. So we might just raid into Delana. I think Delana should be live. Yeah, we're gonna raid into Delana because I think Kayla's getting ready to end. So we're gonna raid into Delana. I'm not sure how many people we're actually going to raid out with. I know we have a lot of people watching still, which I'm surprised about because we're not on the front page anymore. But I'm not sure how many people we'll actually raid with, so we'll see. But thank you everyone for tuning in. I appreciate you all so very much. Okay, yeah, I figured it wasn't going to be like a whole lot, but 47 is still a lot, so thank you so much. Crispy already posted the raid message, but I'll post it again. But thank you everyone. I'll see y'all in the Discord if you want to hang out, but I'm too tired to continue to continue streaming. I was going to, but I'm tired, y'all. I need me a little nap. So we're gonna head over to Delana, who's part of the Disability Pride Raid Train, and I will see y'all in a little bit. I'm going to go talk to our wonderful guests and our host, and I will see you all tomorrow for another cozy stream. So I hope you all take care, and I'll see you all then. Bye everyone, take care.